Welcome back to ASL Chennai Speaks Out. Now, the whole tag of police brutality hinges largely on custodial deaths, custodial torture. We can now go back to Dr. R.K. Raghavan, former director of the CBI. So thank you for staying with us. Custodial torture is, in fact, it's brought the police a very bad name in recent times.
But the point is, yes, custodial deaths were in fact the order of the day till a few years ago. Even now, probably once in a while. But the incidence of custodial deaths has come down. I don't attribute this solely to the enlightenment of policemen. It's because there's a greater monitoring of what's going on in police operations, especially in police stations. And the National Human Rights Commission is very proactive. The judiciary comes down heavily on such events. And more than that, the fear of getting caught is definitely gone down into policemen. And lastly, I must compliment the media, especially the visual media like the Ndtv and others. You are very sensitive and you highlight instances where the police have gone overboard and try to indulge in lawlessness. This has also put great fear into policemen. So the incidence has come down. I won't say it can be, like corruption, I don't think you can eliminate torture. You can eliminate totally misuse of power. But definitely the incidence of such misuse of torture has definitely come down.
All right. Thank you, sir. Let's put that to the test.
Well, I've just completed the end of last year a study of torture in 9 states in this country, including all the 4 southern states and 5 northern states. And the results that we had of the monitoring that we undertook, if they were extended to the 620 districts of the country, the cases of torture and ill treatment, cruel and inhuman treatment, meted out to people in custody works up to a minimum of 1.8 million cases in this country. 1.8 million cases. And I'm not talking about, and these cases do not refer to cases of Maoists or terrorists or those categories of people whom the state always accuses. I'm talking about torture and ill treatment of ordinary people. And this is what takes place in our police stations.
All right. Rajesh, there's strong words there from the human rights activists.
I don't know where he got his figures from. And
he says he's done a survey, 9 states.
He's done a survey, I can say 10.5 millions and 20 trillions. But the point is, what is visible to us? It has come down thanks to the media again. Thanks to the print media, thanks to the visual media.
For once you're not being blamed.
Yeah, no. When we blame you for once, we also should tell the good things that you're doing. Yeah, that's where we stand. That's where we stand. And so we are pretty balanced in that. So all these figures, they say statistics is the biggest lie that you can say, and you can use it to your end. But what is visible on the ground is it has drastically come down, and it's again because the awareness that's been created. It's because we can very, very firmly speak about Tamil Nadu, where we have supervision systems where has ensured that it comes down drastically.
Is there, Radhakrishnan, as a senior journalist from Tamil Nadu, is there underreporting of cases of torture?
I believe so. I believe that what has happened, we are seeing a graph wherein there is, we were an egalitarian society. We kept going down that curve. The first Mumbai attacks brought a lot of problems for us, for civil society. And then again, now we see that curve going down. Patriot Act in the US after the September 11 attacks. The same thing is getting repeated here. For long years, the police did not behave themselves. I would say behave themselves because you wanted to extract a confession, you wanted to get the case closed, or whatever. I mean, for whatever reasons, you needed to finish a case so that you can put down, 1, as a part of a statistics, and 2, just to ensure that you get ahead with life. Now, in the 90s, what has happened is that because of terrorism, we have a set of so vague laws which actually is trying to target criminalization, but nothing happens. For instance, take this IT Act, Section 69 of the IT Act. It's the vaguest thing that you can have under the sun. If you do an SMS saying that, let us go attack this fellow, you're done for. You can be picked up, you can be put, then you have hundreds of laws. Like if you're in Maharashtra and you go in, there is no way you can come out.
That's for a common citizen. But Akila, you have done a lot of research in the National Judicial Academy, also a young lawyer. The absence of laws, as Radhakrishnan says, we had POTA earlier, it was repealed. There was a hue and cry, it was repealed. Do you believe we have tough laws to deal with terror?
We do have tough laws. I believe that, the weak link that we have is policing, is prevention, and actually, when it comes to laws, I do believe that we have strong enough laws to counter incidents of violence, etc. My problem is with brushing aside instances of human rights violation as an aberration. I think each one of those violations of human rights and of constitutional values is a failure of rule of law, is a failure of constitutionalism, and we cannot congratulate ourselves on bringing down the numbers.
You need to balance human rights with victims' rights. This is what I told the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, that one cannot have a one-legged person pointing an accusing finger at the police. Instead, it should be balanced on a tripod of human rights, victims' rights, and human values. Then you will have a balanced picture. See, now you are looking at one spot. It is definitely a blot on the police record when there is a death in custody, when there is custodial torture. The police leadership all over the country condemns it unequivocally.
Do they condemn it or they try to hush it up?
No, condemn it unequivocally.
No, they don't hush it up.
I, as the first district SP in Virudnagar,
not you, but the police department. They don't hush it up.
Issued a directive.
No,
so there may be a case, as you said.
Do they hush up?
I'll argue that little bit.
No, let me finish.
The Supreme Court judgment in Prakash Singh, till today, the 7 requirements that the police, that the government of Tamil Nadu and the police should have complied with, including a complaints tribunal. Till today, we are the worst. We are the worst.
The guidance has been given by the Supreme Court because the police authorities are not ready to follow that thing. Because in the question of who is a real accused in the sense that the police authority is only a law breaker, because we are doing hard to make a law, but the police authority is doing to break the law first, because when we compare with the public, he is a first person who is going to break the law, whatever that may be. Whenever we are going to pass a direction and we are going to make a recommendation, because the Supreme Court also doing a lot of things, the authority is a Supreme Court, but the protectionism is the police authority, because we are passing that recommendation, but we are issuing the recommendation, they are breaking first.
Okay, just a follow-up, I'll come back to yours. Radhakrishnan, I want to ask you now, it's easy to blame them. They do have their constraints, and I want to quote statistics here. Tamil Nadu Police, in fact, Tamil Nadu Electricity Board has made a loss of 6,500 crore rupees. The Tamil Nadu Police budget is only 2,500 crore rupees. Now, the strength of 103,000, we are told, officers and men in Tamil Nadu Police, that's still 15% short. The UN has said you need police public ratio of 250 is to 1 lakh. UK, which is the size of Tamil Nadu, has 250, but here in Tamil Nadu we have only about 130. So they are grossly understaffed, and sometimes in their quest to show results, these these violations take place, gross violations, of course.
Yeah, it seems so that to be effective as a police officer, to be seen as policing effectively, or you catch hold of a rowdy on the street, drag him through 2 streets. I think that kind of thing works. That is possibly a reason why the police
he will shout from the rooftops if you do that also.
No, but I think it is wrong.
If the policeman drags a rowdy across 2 streets, wouldn't you object?
Let me make 2 points clear. That if the Supreme Court orders were followed, and this new bill, the police bill, the Tamil Nadu bill, comes into real being according to the police orders, if senior officers like you can take a role into this, it will be a major step forward for people to complain. There's a complaints, and also for the police system to work, number 1. 2, I believe that the police have constraints.
You concede that they have
But
constraints.
my biggest problem is, stop police bandobast duty for all political VIPs.
Okay.
Stop.
How many of the audience?
No more.
All right, that's a overwhelming.
waste
How many
of
of you?
time.
How many of you agree? Show of hands. How many of you agree with that point?
Just
All right.
one VIP goes 500 policemen.
There was a case when the Prime Minister was gone for a meeting in Delhi for a university. When ambulance was about to pass, the patient died because of the security. So I would like to ask you, sir, what step the police is taking? Like they are really protecting the public or politician? You are being paid by public, but you are more of protection for the politician.
First thing, when you say that the police are violators, as this young friend said, you are actually weakening the ground on which you stand. The police exists for whom? For the people. And that's why I asked myself, when I was a young SP, who does the police exist for? And the answer came, the quintessential answer was, the police exists for the people. Then I said, why is there so much antagonism as we see here between the police and the public? How to empower the public to enter into interface, which is not antagonistic. And that's where the answer came, FOP, of Friends of Police. And that's why for the last 16 years, I've been striving to set up this movement.
Down
the
go to the
ranks,
local police
percolate.
station.
Okay.
The local police people.
That's
there is
a
a
fair,
lot of corruption at the lower
It's
level.
not a fair comment. It's
No,
not at all a fair
because
comment.
it percolated. I mean, because, as he says,
No,
go to
no,
the
no,
police station,
no.
people find it difficult to register an FIR.
You know, police stations don't have paper, right? They have to write paper with 6 carbon copies, right? There's no toilet. If a lady is coming to police station for complaint, she doesn't have a toilet. This is all not being provided by the IAS officers and the politicians who are behind creating the infrastructure,
Too
right?
much of political bashing. I need to.
Listen.
This is become a friend of police.
Please,
No, he's already won. Already
Blaming
won.
it on the lack of infrastructure.
No, please.
No. Let me just
Police-
let me just antagonize all of you at one go.
No.
Let me just tell you.
No, hear him out.
See, the thing is that unfortunately for us, there are people who make laws for this country, and unfortunately, none of you will get onto the streets and fight for your rights.
Earlier, the moment, a criminal approaches a criminal lawyer, an accused person who's, searched by the police, approaches the lawyer, the first thing he will want is, sir, will you make sure the police, will not attack me, or, will he not torture me? Will you make sure that, can you make me surrender in the court instead of the police? Now, that concept is entirely gone. There is no question of, no lawyer is going and surrendering the accused in the court. That was 10 years earlier. Now, the police officers who I'm meeting now every day, they are reluctant to touch the man. They are like, I can assure you, I can tell you that they are playing by the book. Within 24 hours, they are being remanded to the court.
But Ozzy Fernandez, is he?
You're on the wrong side of the fence.
I'm sorry, I think it's only my friend's position as the public prosecutor makes him
I was
say
about to ask him that.
I'm extremely sorry to say this.
If I ask you one point, whether police violates human rights more through its action or more through inaction?
Few months back, they had a law college problem where a student was beaten up in front of a police, and police were not able to do anything at all. They were watching it. It was showcased to the whole public.
Police are the people and the people are the police. Do you know that each of you are part-time policemen? You're not aware.
All right, I'm
You
sure
do
they
know
know
that
they
you
can
are
make a
part-time
citizen's arrest.
policeman?
All right, I want to bring in Henry.
And that's why when that student said, what were you doing? What were those hundreds of students doing?
Henry, in fact, a lot of human rights activists and a lot of members of the public say that there are hardened criminals, and sometimes the police. This is just an accusation that the police sometimes are forced to use third-degree methods on hardened criminals.
Well, they have no option. They have no option. Unfortunately, such police officers, however good they may be, good in the honest sense, I don't say they are corrupt people, many of them are good people, but unfortunately this is against the constitution that has given them the powers to be a police officer. And therefore, once the parameters of law has been laid, that there is no going back in terms of using torture for investigation, then they have no option. And therefore, their scientific methods of investigation have to develop. And we have not invested in research. We have not invested in modernization of investigation methods whereby our police officers would be equipped with psychologists, with psychiatrists, who would be able to find new ways of how to handle such people. I know it is tough. I don't want to belittle them at all. But they have no option because Article 21 of our Constitution is extremely clear, and the Convention Against Torture of the United Nations is also extremely clear.
All right, thank you, Henry. Time to take another short break. When we return, we'll ask all our panelists and the members of the audience after this break as to whether we trust our police enough.